Mr.
All right, we're back.
Tony Galoop.
The Galoop Show.
The Galoop Show.
This is the last of the judging for the individual categories, but it's going to be a two-part judging because we have some business to address. And so tonight is going to be it's going to be the nymph section. This was so cool. You'll see this fly. It's pretty badass. But before we do that, we have some business to attend to because we had some fraudulent activity. And I want to go through, this is going to take a minute because it really pissed us off. It stuck a dagger in all of our hearts. I've never seen Johnny that upset in my life. He was gone for 2 days, just kind of mad. and then he, yes.
Don't do the second part.
Yeah, so what I want to tell you, first of all, is what a great time we've had doing this. And the whole idea of this thing, because of this shitty virus, was that we were going to do something fun. Simply fun, nothing else, just kind of a uniting thing, give people something to do. Everything was cool. Everybody's having a blast. And this is going to morph into something really huge. Next year, you won't believe how big this is and the amount of prizes. This year, we just funded it ourselves just for fun and, kind of get a little team spirit going, giving people something to do. And I just want to tell you how this went. I'd get these packages, right, and I'd undo every single one of them. And then I would read every single letter. Some of you wrote 3-page letters. I read every one of them. Very cool. Everybody, almost unanimously, everyone said, thank you, this is so cool, what a great deal, helping everybody out, giving us something to do. And a few of them, and just to express how much people liked it and how it wasn't about anything other than fun, like my buddy Matt wrote in, and I just talked to Matt today, and I pulled his letter out yesterday, and I kept it because I was thinking about all this and what I'm about to talk about. But he wrote in there, basically, I grew up in a fly shop. He says, hey, dude, if I get picked, donate this money to some kid, right? Isn't going to take the prize. I mean, how cool is that, right? And there was 2 letters like that and several that said stuff like that. But everybody had the same thing. Wow, what a blast this is, man. This is really cool. And then we did the streamer thing. And so this fly falls out, and it is unbelievable. Well, the next day, I believe, we got, and the minute it fell out, Johnny says, hey, that's a ragdolly. That's Andreas's fly. And I said, yeah, cool, it's beautiful, it's unbelievable. I said, it's gonna be hard to beat this fly. And so the next day, Johnny, or the day after?
2 days after.
2 days after, Andreas texts Johnny. He says, dude, that's my fly. And there's maybe 3, maybe 5 guys in the whole world that are as good as this cat. And when it comes to hair streamer work, he may be the top guy in the world. You get to a certain level of this stuff, it's like your own kid. It's like a musician knowing their tune, their melody, whatever, an artist seeing their stuff. This cat's one of the top 3 in the world. And he says, dude, that's my fly. And then he sends us a picture of the 6 flies, which he sent to Brendan Riddell in Calgary. And Jeff Newhouse, can't remember how he spells his last name, entered this fly. And they were fishing buddies up there. And so, man, you want to talk about something that just cut to the heart. Because now I'm in the position to say, whoa. But when Andreas sent me the pictures, there were 2 pictures, there were 6 flies, these 2, which he sold to this guy in Canada. And then he re-entered that fly as his. And I want to tell you just a little quick story. I didn't just guess on this. I had these things on. These are my girlfriend Mel's stamp. She said she gave me these. She said she used them when she was in high school for her stamp collection, which was like last year or something. And maybe 2 years ago. Not kidding, maybe, just kidding. But at any rate, I took those things and I counted this fly and the picture. I have the picture, I'll show you. And first of all, there's only a handful of guys in the world and gals that could pull this head off the way it's done. And that's when we saw this thing, it was just like, wow. Then I started counting. And so I took the jeweler's glasses and I counted. There's a little tiny throat right here of orange, and then there's 7 hairs on the olive hair right there. Then I counted those and I looked at the picture, 7. Then he told me he made a mistake in this fly, and he's never done this. And what did he say, dented that? Or I can't remember what he said.
Put the eyes on those craft fur.
Yeah, and he has this craft fur. He says he never lets that craft fur there. So I look at the fly in the photo and I count the damn strands of the craft fur. Exactly the same. And then I went in and I counted every single hair around the perimeter of the green. And they're identical to the photograph. But the real kicker is, and you can't see it, but underneath here, there is 1 hair that is not trimmed, and it goes the entire length of that. Identical to the photograph. I mean, I was mortified. This is a damn contest for fun. Somebody cheats for $250. Are you kidding me? So, that kind of, it was a dagger to the heart, because it's a really big deal to do this. I mean, I have probably had as much success in this business as anybody alive as far as flies and national flies and stuff like that. And it still cuts to the heart when somebody steals your stuff. And so that's one thing. But to knock, it's almost impossible not to steal a little bit of somebody's stuff at this point, add it to this, do it to that. Almost impossible not to rip something off. But to take the guy's damn fly and send me the fly somebody else tied is total bullshit. And it's total bullshit. I don't know if the guys run it together. I have no idea. All I know is there are pictures of each other coming off their Instagrams like, bam. So somebody's guilty of a lot of shit, and it's terrible. And so this fly, although it would be nice Andres would win, if he sent it in, I'm sure he would have won, but he didn't. This guy sent his fly, and it's total BS. So to get through that and get on to the happy feel-good stuff, that's the ending of that thing. What were you saying there, Toad?
For the next time, we shall
I'm so
be
pissed
watching.
right now. Here,
we will be watching.
We will be.
Faith in humanity.
Completely it truly shook the shit out. I mean, it shook us to the core. So this is going to become an annual thing. And this is a really big deal because, like I told you, and one of the other ones, whoever wins, and I didn't say this, it has to be an original pattern, but whoever wins this overall, which we're going to do, we had a lot of late entries come in. And especially the European guys and girls, they're just too long to get here. So we took all those late entries, and even if you're in the U.S., I mean, there's a fly on here that the guy had a hopper or a stonefly, which was unreal, that would have been in the dry, but it was late. And so he's just missed that time. I took all that stuff and put it into a second category. We're going to do another one in December. But whoever wins this overall is going to be instantly a national recognized tire because it's going to go into MFC and they're going to be in the magazine front, right when you open up, winner of the coronavirus thing and all that. This is a big damn deal. You don't get to just become a national tire, boom, like that. Some people try their whole life to become that person. And so it's a big deal. And cheating is BS. And we're going to watch, between Johnny and Jeremy, I don't know, hell, I don't know the names of half my own flies. Between those two, they know every fly. We're going to watch everybody. And it sucks that we have to do this. It's total bullshit. We shouldn't have to do any of this. Who's going to cheat on something like this? Well, this guy did. And so that's over, but we're going to be watching it, and everybody. So if you're going to win the show and you're going to become that guy, it has to be our gal. We had a handful of gals in, but not as many as I'd like, because girls are great tires. And so if you're going to do that, it's got to be original fly. You can't send in one of mine or one of Carrie Stevens or whatever, even though it's really cool, might win this part of it, but it can't go into the national if you're going to do it. But just be on your toes that we're going to, I would never guess in a million years we'd have to be having this damn conversation, but we are. So that's over. This fly I'd throw to the side because of the way it was put in, but it's a great fly, and by one of the greatest fly tyers in the world. And so that leaves us to who won. And so the number 2 fly, and it's Elliot Dirtzu. This fly right here, and it's called it's a 3-legged dog.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it's really hard to go against this cat. I mean, you're talking about one of the top 3 guys in the world, right? Maybe the top hair guy. And so this fly, though, it's a triple articulated. It's a double shanked. And so it was a really, really cool, and it was close second because it's just got a unique system the way it's set up. Not the shank system's not unique. It's just the layering of the natural material with the synthetics thing and it's really clean. Really everything about it and it was close second. And so Elliot just won the 250 for that, and this one's out, even though it's spectacular, but not Jeff's. And so onward we go. And so now we're into the nymphs. After I do the nymphs, we're going to go into some other categories because it's not a participation trophy, but there's just some really fun stuff. All right. So I had this thing sitting here. This was our scorecard. We had that. They took a picture of it earlier. I want everybody to understand how we do it. We take tonight because Polly showed back up. You know, Polly was down in Missouri doing Missouri things, and she's back to work, and she got to have her. She got to be the 5th person in on it this time. But we had 5 people voting. And I got to tell you, these, just like always, there are just some unbelievable flies in here. But this fly, a little like Andreas's did, when this fly fell out, it was like, oh my God, this is the coolest, probably in my mind, one of the most unique, one of the most original, and coolest flies I've ever seen in my life. I mean, it truly is spectacular. But this is how we do it. Everybody, we went down to the top 20. Some of these are jigs, so I had to turn them upside down. Let's flip that over.
John, we'll have close-ups of all these.
Yeah, we'll have close-ups of all this stuff on there.
On YouTube tomorrow.
Yeah. Why don't you just tell them? So Johnny said we'll have it on YouTube tomorrow, which we will. Trying to get you stuck. Some of them are just really cool. And there's a lot of uniqueness. This one here is a buddy of mine, Ron. This is a sideways fly because he said they always fly. There's just a lot of neat things about these flies. And a lot of them, just the way they're tied, are just spectacular ties. But tomorrow, and so how we do it, goes back to how we're doing this. How we do it is I set them out first. I pick the top 20, sometimes 25s, and sometimes it's just so hard. Because you could put every single one up there. I mean, it's judging. You got to, there's got to be winners and losers. So I put these all down, and then everybody in here, we just do it by ourselves. Everybody picks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we simply, whoever did it, it's, who had the most ones, first, second, and thirds. And so the fly that won was, and I know you won't be able to see this, was number 7, and it's a dragonfly eating a damselfly. And it is so incredible. It is perfectly tied. There's nothing on it that's not out. It's not perfect. Split wing cases, the eyes, the wing case over the top of the eyes of the dragon, the damselfly that's getting chowed down on here. And I know you won't be able to see this, and this will have a lot of close-ups, trust me. But it's this fly right here. And it's the one thing that is just amazing. I mean, this will blow your mind if you're looking at it. When you flip it, invert it, it's the same image on the bottom. That was a mind blower. Most people would tie this fly and not worry about it. It doesn't matter what side you look at this fly, it's duplicate. This is, in my mind, the most original, coolest fly I have ever, and 100% synthetic. This thing has nothing. The legs, I didn't notice at first. I thought they were, it's a turkey quill, knotted, bent, and then dipped, and it's been coated. Unbelievable, huh?
You said 100% synthetic. It's 100%
Natural.
Oh, did I say that?
Yeah, it's natural.
Oh. Hey, Rooster, is this how you do this?
100% natural.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No synthetic, 100% natural. Honestly, I just can't overemphasize that This is the most original looking. There are so many cats out there that tie these super realistic looking bugs. That's cool too. This is natural, and it is. You'll see it on the close-up tomorrow when we do all the spins. It's just an incredible fly. And so to get to that, and you know who it is. It's Ron. Ron knows who it is. It's Ron Readmond from Lyons, Colorado. Man, this fly, dude, that was a showstopper. And so that's the winner. You can see the rest of them. This is the first time we had the next two. There's 5 votes for that one. It was unanimous. And then the next 2 flies were like 4 votes. And so it could have gone a lot of ways. So that's the nymph end of it. Now I'm going to go through, because it's the end of the, we still have next week to do the actual vote for who wins the rod or the Renzetti Vise. But I had some other stuff in here because it was a blast. I can't tell you how much fun I had with this thing. It took forever, but there were some things that were the same. A lot of you like Altoids, that's for sure. We had more Altoid boxes. Shit, I bet we have 25 Altoid boxes. There's one winner in here, the Bob Ross. I don't know if that's an Altoid box. The boys all want it for their split boxes. So here we go. Just kidding. I came up. These are all $25 winners. There were so many cool things when you're going through this thing, and so. I just picked out some random, and next year we're going to have more of these. It's just because it was fun. This is John Lenander. I think that's from Minnesota. This is just one for the best box, the best presentation. I don't know if you built this box. Everybody knows I love to do woodwork. I'm a wood butcher. I couldn't figure out how to open this damn thing because it's so tight that I couldn't find this. I'm sitting there going, what the hell? And it's boom. And I'll show this tomorrow too. But it was just a beautiful, and by the way, Ron was also in the top, in the dry fly, in this terrestrial. His little Letort was in the top too, in the top 20, whatever we had, and the 16 on that one. But this box, Ron's getting that. I thought that was pretty cool. But, just because it's, by the way, you don't get any extra points for that. Then I've got, this is the most observant. This is the coolest thing. This is a guy from the University of Montana. Where'd he go to? And what is it? James Frakes. And it's James is he's working on his master's degree at University of Montana on study of giant salmon flies. I love this quote. I spend a lot of my time torturing them for science, but. This is the most unique observation of a fly. If you've ever seen a stonefly, and he said whenever they're broke loose and they're just floating around and something scares them, they run themselves into a ball. And it was a badass looking fly. It's just this is a concept thing. Best observation. I mean, it's like, wow, I mean, how cool is that? We'll show that thing tomorrow too. Because I know you can't see it, but it's just and he says they turn themselves in a little circle and they follow the bottom. If you ever seen one, they follow the bottom in a little circle. As cool as can be. So that was a cool one, another $25 one. This one is most likely to go to jail for using prehistoric materials. This cat, I thought this was funny, Kevin Miller. This is tied, he said he was trying to do something. This is with genuine woolly mammoth hair. Man, I hope I didn't just get you put in jail, but it's really cool. It's a really cool little fly. Did the abdomen with woolly mammoth hair. Got to get something for that. Gets another one. Then there's 2 categories right here. I had this guy in here. One of them is from, where's my cup? I lost it. I put my cup up there. Have you ever seen me use the sponge cup on my videos right here? Tom Gingrich. This category is most likely that Kelly's going to steal your fly and tie it myself and use it. So the first one was the streamer, which was Tom's. This fly is all natural. It's a really cool looking fly. I'm going to tie this fly myself, and if anybody asks me, I'll probably tell them I invented it. Just kidding. And the other one, I don't know how you say your last name. Van Gravage, I mean.
Grab it.
Huh? Von Gravage. How do you say it?
Yeah.
Grab it? I don't know. Hell, I'm French. Van has a unique deal. He played Brad Pitt as a kid in River Runs Through It. He has 2 flies in here, and he's a great type. This is his stonefly in here also. This bumblebee, when it came out, in the terrestrial, this was my favorite fly of all. Period. End of discussion. Not that I thought it was going to. I didn't necessarily. It was in the top 5 for winning, but I just have never seen. I've seen a ton of bumblebees. This is the coolest terrestrial that I'm going to fish. I mean, a lot of these I couldn't tie anyway. This one I might be able to tie, but this wins another 25er because I'm most likely to steal it and not give you credit. And so I'm just giving you $25 credit for that. The next one is, this one is the last one, or this next to last one. This one is the most unique theme related.
And in the Bob Ross deal.
And the Bob Ross, there are no mistakes. There's just no happy mistakes. Little happy mistakes.
Happy little accidents.
Happy little accidents. You guys got to be the life. So this fly is you can't see it, but we'll show it. This is the coronavirus. It actually is a stoner coronavirus. This is the most unique theme related. And then, so that one's going, and that one was from John Fagot. I don't know how you say your name. It's I'm not good with that. And the last one is, this one's going to be a little different, and because this is from a buddy of ours. And I want you to see that this fly right here, and we'll show you that fly tomorrow. And this one, this will choke you up a little bit, doesn't mean. It's inspirational. Robert Evans is this fly, and he sent me this, and it's a mini dungeon, and this fly was in the top. It was in the top of these flies because it's just the mini dungeon, but it's really super clean. But the thing that's more clean than this, and that's why he got it, this one's an additional and this one's a $250 gift certificate. Robert is most likely become the best one-arm tyer in the world. Robert's been tying for, I think, 3 or 4 months. He got hit by an IED and blew his dominant right arm off. And this cat is tying, and he says, I know it's not much. That fly fell out, and I'm telling you, it's as good as I can do this fly. And he said, I know it's not that great. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I'm just looking at this thing going, oh my God. And you look at this work, and we'll show this thing. This guy is an inspiration to every one of us. So we threw that into an additional one right there because I have never, 3 months this guy's been tying. Maybe 4. And his work is absolutely stunning. And I wanted everybody to see that because anybody that's whining about they can't quite get their headset right or something, check it out. One arm, prosthetic, dominant side, gone. And that cat is tying stuff that is unreal. So that one was the last of those. And so we gave out a bunch of extra ones. Again, we have the final vote next week. That's going to be for the rod or the vise, and it's going to have the 3 winners of this division. Everything on here is everything will go on YouTube tomorrow, so see all the close-ups, everything we're going to do. Other than that, next week, I don't know, when are we doing next week? Wednesday?
Probably next Wednesday. Yeah.
Next Wednesday, we're going to do the overall winner for the rod or the vise, and now we're just going to drink. So, I hope you liked it.
Sure.
Rock on.